Ooh.
Got Your Back Pod Stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com. Nuge has risen. Yes, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with a much-needed three-point night. The Oilers, how about that performance on the road at the tail end of a road trip? Locking down a win, salvaging a road trip. Skinner was good. Lots to like about that game and lots to break down on tonight's show. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. So glad that you're along for the ride tonight, and we got a gooder tonight. You think this is a bright hoodie? Wait till you see the cornucopia of colors on set tonight. Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown sitting brightly by, ready to rock and roll tonight. As always, our show is brought to you by Play Alberta, where it's always game time. Bet on sports, find your new favorite slot, hit the tables, play on a virtual table with a live dealer. You can grab your lottery tickets. You do it all safely with responsible gambling tools that help keep you safe. GYB03 at playalberta.ca. That's GYB03 gets you a $50 free bet code. I'm coming at you from our Adrenaline Diesel studio. If you need a part manufactured, replicated, or repaired, Adrenaline Diesel has you covered with their brand new machine shop. Visit adrenalinediesel.ca and ta-da! Look at all this color on set tonight, except for Steve, who's going with the black hoodie. But we've got lavender on Struds. We've got sort of a muted salmon on Brownie. Ooh, and then we have a classic, stylish, peachy salmon here for me. Boys bringing the color tonight. I love it.
Seriously, we do look like the Wiggles. One of us should change. You should go to a different color, Shogger. I mean, we can get, if you get a bright green, we can get 3 of the 4 Wiggles done right there. Then Randine can be the girl Wiggle, and she can come in with 1 and 2. We're all set. You guys know the songs?
This is like Teletubbies. JL says this is like Teletubbies. I don't know the Wiggles as well, Struds. Which is which?
I'm not familiar with it, but I am familiar when people make fun of someone's sweater and then they get stuff to get closer to him. So that's what I call being a leader. And then everyone else is a follower. So I thank you for joining me, guys. What's next?
Well, I appreciate you, Struds, for inventing the hoodie. That was really cool that we all just decided to go out and get the Struddy hoodies.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Brownie. I think what Struddy's talking about is wearing his hood like this. I think we're all supposed to be wearing our hood off the side of our neck like this. Is that your style, Struds? Like, is that a thing? Is we all going to do this now?
That's next, guys. I see your game.
He's got his one string kind of done up in his zipper there. That's what's going on. So
strings in your zipper. The hood is rolled inside out. It's on your shoulder. Like, straighten that out. That's going to bug me for the whole show. No, straighten that out.
You got to be able to play through it. Play through it, buddy. Play through it.
Just do this. Just settle it back a little bit.
I'm fine. I'm comfortable with where I'm at.
Oh,
I'm very comfortable
he's
with where
leaving
I'm
it.
At. If it naturally rolls back, I'll change it.
It's all I can look at now. It's all I can look at.
That's all anyone can look at. I guarantee that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, great to have the whole band together. The stream's in a great mood. There was a new Ryan on the stream tonight who said it was his very first live stream. So we welcomed him, certainly. And then who followed up? Gigi No Re says, it was Ryan Berg who said he was live on the show for the first time. And Gigi No Re says, Ryan Berg is my favorite Ryan already. So the bar is low on this show to appreciate a Ryan. Welcome to you, Ryan Berg. All right, guys, we got a road trip. We got a game to break down. So let's get after it. In our breakdown, brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. The 4x4 winter event is here. Get up to $11,200 in total discounts on a 2024 Ram 1500 DT Bighorn at your Alberta Ram dealer. Make sure you go check it out. Take one for a test drive, especially in these conditions. You'll see how fabulous they are inside and out. Visit your Alberta dealer today. Lots went right for the Oilers tonight, gentlemen. Struds, what do you think was most important of all the things that went right for them tonight?
There's a lot of good things. Honestly, Connor McDavid scoring. I really think that is.
Really?
You can see his reaction. Okay. He was really happy. I honestly, guys, I think that goal he scored at the end, and he stepped up and got it done when they needed him the most, or needed that goal in that time, guys. Brownie, what do you think?
Well, to me, Connor McDavid was going to score a goal, whether it was tonight or tomorrow. And I have no worry about Connor McDavid's game getting back to where it wants to, but there's always the fear for Skinner. And I thought the play of Stuart Skinner tonight, he out-battled one of the best in the world in Shesterkin. He was the better of the two goalies. Came up with the save on the Rempe breakaway, which was a big mistake that the Oilers made. He cleaned that up. On the power play the Rangers had in the third period, their one power play where they actually had some chances, a couple of big saves, the one on Zibanejad in front of the net, another big save. So I think after a fantastic performance by Calvin Pickard, Stuart Skinner had to come in and match that. And I think he did, and gave the Oilers what turned out to be a half-decent road trip that started really poorly but ended very, very well.
Yeah, I like that one, Brownie. I'm going to have a submission as well. I'm going to say, and it's in the title, I think a 3-point night from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and a good, solid overall game, a night where he gets the offensive mojo going a little bit. He does it from a third-line center perch. He moved around a little bit, but from a third-line center perch, I think that unlocking Nugent-Hopkins could be pretty big for this team. So all three of these things are elements that we should spend a little bit of time talking about. Struds, maybe let's just bounce back to Stuart Skinner, Brownie's original point there. We were wondering who the head coach was going to start in this game, because Pickard definitely earned the net for tonight's game based on each of their recent play. But this is one of those ones where the head coach erred on the side of leaning back towards his main man. What do you think of that decision?
Yeah, you know what? I probably would have gone the other way. It's funny. He seems to have the real good feel of what these guys need, and maybe they're coming out of it. So by putting him in there, I think it sends a strong message. Like, not that you have to say you're my guy, but more importantly, we believe in you. We believe in you in a pretty important game. Like coming home 2-2 is way different than 1-3. So I think that was really important for him to come in and play a good game, and he made some really nice saves, some really strong saves. The guys in front of him, the defense was much tighter. And not just the D-men, but it continues to improve in the right direction. Not perfect, but improving in the right direction. But I think for him, it's just important to say, hey, we feel really comfortable putting you in this spot.
No, you're right. And we did talk about Pickard, and I was going to go with Pickard until Schauger changed my mind last podcast. But I think it was important for Skinner, and it was important for Skinner to do that in a big moment after Pickard, and with the team. If the team's playing better, well, you've got to play well. You got to follow along. We can't have the most important position in our team to be a weakness that we have to overcome. And they didn't have to tonight. He was good. This was again, still warts in their game, but the battle and compete and desperation levels were all through the roof tonight. And I think that's a huge start for this Oiler team going forward as they make their dash to the playoffs.
To the Weiss Johnson soundbox, Stu on Stu.
You feel?
Yeah, I felt good. Felt calm in there. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really say right now just because I haven't watched from the overview. But, yeah, I felt really good. Felt like I made saves when I needed to. The guys obviously played really well in front of me, and especially at the end there where we were 6-on-5 up 2 with, a few seconds to go, we were still blocking shots. So that's a huge credit to the guys. They don't have to do that with, 10 seconds left. So it's huge.
I thought, he made some really big saves late in the game, but probably the biggest time is on that late penalty kill, coming up with some nice timely saves there. And, all night I thought his game was very strong.
Okay, let's move on to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Brownie, his 5-on-5 scoring, his overall offensive game this year. He spent a lot of time in the top 6 most of the season, most of the time next to Connor McDavid, and he just has not been in the vicinity. You are an offensive player. Clearly something like this can give him a bump, But was there a difference in the way he did anything, or did he just kind of get some luck tonight and made some things happen? Or was there something that he tweaked?
Well, I think that the fact that he's playing center, he touches the puck more. When you're playing with Connor McDavid and you're a winger, you don't see the puck until you're in the offensive zone. And then you're just more or less a bumper. You get it, then give it back right away. But as a centerman, he's picking the puck up in his own zone. He's involved down below the goal line. Then he's carrying it through the neutral zone. He's the one setting the table. And I've played center and I've played wing. Center's way more fun than wing because you're always involved. It's a position where you're needed in the corners in the defensive zone. Now you're needed through the neutral zone. Now you're the guy setting the plays up in the offensive zone. He didn't get to do that playing with Connor. And I think for someone that's struggling, sometimes just touching the puck more just gives you confidence because you're making plays. There could be shifts where he was with McDavid where he'd go on the ice, he never touched the puck. And then he'd come off and he's like, all right, I just had a 48 seconds shift where I never saw the puck. When you're playing center, you touch it a lot. So I think he just gained confidence tonight in this hockey game because not only was he touching it, he was creating for others.
Yeah, those are all really good points. I want to highlight a play that happened. Puck drove the puck kind of just below the hash marks and around, and he passed it to Nuge-Hopkins off the rush. And Nuge took a couple strides and shot it. Like that's what I've been talking about, him getting more to the middle of the ice, getting position ready to catch and shoot as soon as he get it. And he went in, and I think he missed the net far side ride. Maybe one of you guys has a better insight than I did. But I want Nuge on the inside of the dots, and when I get it, I want him to take a couple strides and shoot it. Like that's when he's at his best. He's got that quick little release, and I'm actually surprised he didn't score there. That's kind of his shot. But that to me is I know it's one specific play, and Brownie highlighted a lot of things, but that's what I've been waiting for. Get more to the ice. The other night we saw on the power play, he took the puck off the wall and drove to the net. Like I think maybe those are little things that he's starting to pick up that I've got to shoot from inside the dots to score or create chances.
Yeah, solid performance tonight from Ryan Nuge-Hopkins. Just taking a look here. It was 58% of the shot share while he was on the ice. And definitely getting the feet moving a little bit, playing in the middle of the ice. Let's get back to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox one more time here. If it's time for a new furnace, garage heater, or hot water tank, or you're looking to beat the rush on getting a new AC this summer, act now. They're noticing over at Weiss that there's an uptick in requests for air conditioning, so get in the queue. Specializing in servicing your existing mechanical systems or installing new ones, Weiss Johnson is here for all your home comfort needs. Visit weiss-johnson.com today. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Chris Knobloch, a bit of a longer clip here, but he really digs in on some of what Brownie just talked about on Ryan Nuge-Hopkins' game and his positioning right now.
Yeah, no, Ryan has a strong game, and he's playing center. Just kind of also, Ryan's a little disappointed with his scoring, but when a player like him can play center, it's good to touch the puck. You're able to move. You just feel like you're involved in the play a lot more. And, I think about his games this year, and probably most of them, his stronger games have been playing center. And tonight, besides a couple of shifts playing left wing, pretty much all was on center. And, another solid game from him. So, defensively, obviously making plays. I'm not sure what he was on the faceoffs, but I feel like came up some key faceoffs at certain times. And then it's nice to see him get those 3 points because I know he's been a little bit snake-bitten, not been able to get on the score sheet, but tonight he definitely deserves that.
Another big night for Victor Arvidson confidence-wise. He has not had shooting confidence this year, Brownie, but a couple of times now in the last week or so, he has felt whatever goal scorers feel when they fire a shot and beat a goaltender clean. And I imagine that has to mean something to a guy that hasn't done that a lot this year. Beating a goalie clean.
He fooled Shesterkin on that one. I don't know if it touched the stick of the defender and changed directions, but Shesterkin at the end looked like he was trying to get out of the way. The Oilers, as good as Connor and Leon are not going to go anywhere in the playoffs unless they get contributions from more than just the two of them. Arvidson was brought in here to score and has had, you look at the three players they left, have all had way better years than Arvidson has. So now there's pressure on Arvidson, and you feel it. he looks more confident. I don't know him at all, but from watching him play with LA and watching him here, when he plays cocky, he's a much more effective player. When he's got that smile on his face, he gets in there after a whistle, he takes runs at guys bigger than him. He becomes an irritant. That's when he's more effective. And when you're effective at that part of your game, it usually bleeds into your offensive part of your game. So he seems to be a little more confident as of right now. And maybe also moving and playing on a line with Nuge-Hopkins, less pressure. You don't have to. If that 3-on-2 he had Leon, he's probably thinking, okay, I'm not shooting out wide here. I'm going to look to pass the puck to Leon. When he's playing with Nuge-Hopkins, I'm going to fire the puck. And he did, and got a big goal for the Oilers.
I think that it was great. I mean, he's got 2 goals in his last 5 games, and I know that's, you're not setting the world on fire, but when you have 9 all year, that feels pretty good. So I think that's important for him. And just the intention of shooting it there. You know, as I watched the game, I thought tonight the Oilers still had some chances to shoot, and they didn't shoot. You know, and if not necessarily want to take that shot every time with 3-on-2, but just the intention to get pucks or bodies to the net. I too think it rode up the guy. I think it went off the D-man's stick just by the way it kind of went in, but it doesn't matter. It's in there. It counts. That's 2 goals in 5 games. And now if he can get, let's say he gets 1 in the next couple of games, maybe now he's got something going.
So we're going to keep giving the forwards love in this segment. No offense, Struddy, but there's lots to talk about on the blue line as well. We're going to push that into our takeaways segment, where we're going to talk a little more specifically about the performances we saw on the blue line tonight and big picture on a couple of guys as well. But let's keep rolling on the topic up front, because, you know, the Oilers were 3 goals or less in 10 of their last 11 games. And, you know, again, it was a 3-goal night tonight, but, you know, the offense is something that, when it gets going, is going to really help this group out a lot. And so a few players are kind of waking up here a little bit. We talked about Nuge-Hopkins. We talked about Arvidson. Let's go to Corey Perry next, Brownie, and I want to talk about Skinner as well, because I thought he had another solid night tonight. But with Zach Hyman not in the lineup, Corey Perry is an obvious fit there. I wonder, pace of play-wise, Brownie, like how much of an option is Corey Perry going to be at playoff time up on one of those top 2 lines? Like he can do in a pinch, but when it ratchets up to playoff speed, you know, I know he's a wily veteran and everything, but do you think he's going to be able to do it? On a night like tonight, you know, on a power play, he's able to be in the right spot.
It depends who they play in the playoffs. If it's the Colorado Avalanche, no. He can't. If it's the Winnipeg Jets, probably not. If it's LA or Vegas, yeah. I mean, they slow the game down. They're big physical players. He's not going to be a 19, 20-minute a night type of player, but when you play with Leon, you don't have to be fast because Leon slows the game down. So he allows everyone to catch up because he'll turn and go back into his own zone. For Corey Perry, all he has to do is get in below the tops of the circles. That's where he's effective. When the puck goes behind the net, I'm not sure if there's a player better on the team, including Connor and Leon, at taking the puck from behind the net boards into the front of the net and creating a scoring chance. Like he is so greasy. How he turns his body one way or another, how he pulls the puck in close to him. This is a guy that cannot skate like he could when he was a superstar in this league. And he was a superstar in this league. But he can think the game the same way. And if you can get him into a half-court offense, playing with Leon Draisaitl, yes, I think he can give you effective minutes against teams like LA, against Vegas, probably against Dallas. You don't want to be in a track meet with him, but I think he can be effective in the playoffs. He ain't coming out of my lineup come playoff time. There's other guys that'll be coming out well before Corey Perry does. Struds?
Yeah, I like all that. The challenge he's going to run is being a presence on the forecheck, and I think that's where it'll be tough.
Yeah.
If they carry the puck in, if he's able to get it over there and chip and get it, that's fine.
But Struds, if he's playing with Leon Draisaitl, there is no forecheck. He doesn't dump the puck in.
I know, but except there are going to be times where they're going to have to. So if they have to dump it in, they got to go get it. Like I don't know. I want to believe. Like trust me. They need him. They need him in his presence there. But I just at some point someone has to forecheck, and if it's Leon and Perry, who's the other guy on that line that's going to get that puck every time, right? There's not a
Kane,
burner.
Frederick.
Trent
Yeah,
Frederick.
Yeah.
Again, I'll say it.
Maybe.
The bar is
Trent
so
Frederick,
low
yeah.
for Trent Frederick.
Yeah, that's
when he's
fine.
ready to
Maybe
go to just get launched
Just think how
onto one of those
big
lines.
and physical a line that would be if you put
Yeah.
Frederick
Brownie,
there, or if you put Evander Kane back. It just all of a sudden you have
Yeah.
a much bigger, heavier physical line.
You know what, Brownie, you might be onto something there, because then that truly becomes a half-court offense, right? And Frederick, I think, is quick enough to get on that forecheck and get some hits, and they can talk about where to put the puck so they can get it back. You know, with Corey Perry, you're not hammering that thing, into or cross corner dumping, so he has to
No,
skate and get
no.
it. It's got to be somewhere strategic. And Leon's really smart. Like your point's really well made, but Frederick might be quick enough and rattle enough cages to get in there and make it work. Then those guys just grind. And the two wingers, between the two of them, there might be enough in those hands to polish off what Leon touches to him. So I mean, I hope we can see Frederick sooner than later. Maybe that would be the line, guys, to try, which is mind-blowing considering where we started this year in July 1st. Like, that those were the two. I would have never thought that, but here we are. So your point might be right, Brownie. You might be right there if they're smart enough with it.
Well, and if you do that, then you can allow Nuge-Hopkins to have good, faster line mates. Then he can play with an Arvidson and a Skinner or a Podkolzin or something like that. So then you can have three more equal lines.
Yeah. Might be something there. They got to get him healthy. Because what are we at here, Stogger? Couple more weeks? What are you thinking with 15? Yeah. Where's Frederick left? Where's he at? Is he?
Well, I heard them say on this road trip that it was going to be at least, a week and a half to 2. So, I mean, my guess is he's back probably the week of like what do they got here? Sure. Probably somewhere April 1st to 5th, somewhere in that range. That's me just kind of throwing a number out there, but
not a lot of time.
Yeah, we'll see. And he's got to be given a chance to get back in after missing that much time. And I don't think you just chuck him up on a top line right away. Like, he's going to need a few games to get acclimated and get himself sorted out. Or maybe they'll just do it. Maybe they will just do it. Simple 101 says the hoodie color palette is not congruent. We know Simple. But at least Struds has fixed his hood now. So we're feeling better about it on this end. Struds, if you were to look at Jeff Skinner's stats line tonight, no goals, no assists, even, few shot attempts, won a face-off. Kind of looks like it was a whatever kind of night. But it was not a whatever kind of night from Jeff Skinner. Again, the guy is finding ways. Feels like a salmon swimming upstream, but he's finding ways to chip in.
Yeah, so I think it's clear that he's not going to get an opportunity in the top 6. I think we can all just let that go, including me, who was probably the biggest pusher of that. So I think he's settled into that fourth line position. And quite honestly, guys, that's probably what he is now. Not what he is, but what he's going to be on this team. He's a fourth line guy, and he adds a little bit of skill to that line. A guy that can maybe create something out of nowhere. And so that seems to be, so he might just have to embrace that and say, okay, this is what I am on this team, and I got to bring it. And, he's not complaining. He's working hard. He's pretty fired up, drew a couple penalties, which I love, especially if you're coming off that fourth line.
I thought he was excellent, and I would play him more, but I still stand by he won't be playing come the first playoff game. He won't. They'll get Frederick back. They'll get Kane back. He'll be a healthy scratch. They might even bring Derek Ryan up ahead of him, just to have a right-handed centerman in the lineup, because he's not going to play on. They don't use their second power play. He doesn't penalty kill. I found him to be very effective in this hockey game tonight. I thought he had jump. He is one of the players that actually looks dangerous in the offensive zone every time he has the puck. He just needs a little bit of puck luck, a little bit of love that way. But to me, he'd be getting more ice time if I was coaching.
Did anybody notice that Knobloch bumped him up onto McDavid's line for a shift? And I think that was a shift. I think one of the shifts where he drew a penalty and they had some looks in the offensive zone. Like, look, I know we don't like the lines being juggled all over the place, and he's done a good job the last couple of games keeping them pretty steady there. But when you see Skinner's got that little jump in his step, Struddy, like, why not give him the bump? Why not? He's an offensive player that can get things done. Like, I feel like they would do that for so many other players. He had it going tonight, and I was waiting for it. I saw it. They moved him up, and I'm like, there it is. Nice touch. And that was pretty much it. Like, why not give him the bump and leave him?
Well, because it's Jeff Skinner. Like, like I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. The coach doesn't like him. I mean, that's just the truth. That's the truth. He can paint as many nice pictures as he wants in post game saying what he's doing, but the coach doesn't like him, and for whatever reason, right? And so yeah, you can get the bump up, and it's nice. You get your beat wet. You're in the VIP section, then you're back out again, right? Like, congrats. Like, keep working hard. We're happy to have you, but. When everyone's healthy, there's no beat getting wet from Jeff Skinner in the top 6.
No, and actually, I don't think in the top 12. And I don't think I'm going to change one word you said there. I don't think it's that he doesn't like him. I don't think he trusts him. I think that's what it is. I think he trusts Captain. I think he trusts Janmark. I think he trusts Connor Brown. I don't think he trusts Jeff Skinner to make the right play at the right moment defensively. Even though I haven't seen any mistakes from him. Yeah. But it's one of those things. First impression gave me this, and I'm never, ever going to change my mind on it.
I'll say this, though, guys. I still think that he has an impact on this team. At some point, he's too offensive to not have an impact for a stretch. I don't know if it's regular season or playoff, but I think that he's going to have an impact for the group offensively.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's got it in him, too. I just think needs a little bit more prolonged an opportunity. And on a night where he's got it going, why not give him the same, bump that you would give some other offensive-minded players?
So Shogger,
they come out and they look like they've got it.
So one shift wasn't prolonged for you?
What?
When you said you wanted you wanted a prolonged look, the one shift wasn't long enough?
Like you've got Kapanen playing with Connor McDavid. No disrespect to Kapanen, but clearly you're in dire straits, and Skinner comes out and has it. Anyway, it's a win. Yeah. We shouldn't pick apart a win too much, but I think this thing with Skinner has been a consistent topic on this show. Tonight just felt like an opportunity to be like, yeah, get him up there.
When Kapanen had 2 really good chances to shoot on that, walking out of the corner, what I've been talking about, walking out, fumbles it, doesn't get the shot off. And then I think it was Connor throws him a nice pass that an NHL player should be able to handle. We get a shot off. Yeah. I think he's squeezing the stick big time up there. You can see the glue coming out of his stick right now.
The other guy you could have bumped him for was Connor Brown at even strength too. Connor Brown at even strength is having a hard time. He's a heck of a penalty killer, and I like the energy and all those things. But Leon Draisaitl fires a pass onto his stick, and he can't handle it right in a shooting position. It's he's swinging and dinging. He's not finishing checks. Like on that one goal, I mean, I know it wasn't the reason that it was scored, but if you watch him on the back check, he had a chance to drop a shoulder into the guy with the puck. He didn't even think about it. Didn't even think about doing it. So, I don't know. It just seems it's not like guys are shooting the lights out and that Jeff Skinner is having to crawl his way over 20 goal scorers to get into one of these spots. Okay, we've gone on too long with this. Let's get to our Relentless Player of the Night, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services, their annual comedy night. Well, they're almost completely sold out. There's one table left for March 19th. That's the night we're all going. The Got Your Back team will be there, so grab that last table. Come say hello. If you can't make it, there is a 50-50 draw and raffle, also a silent auction. Check it out, www.ucancomedy.ca. Struds, who gets the nod on this day?
97. He had 3 shots from kind of the same area where he was coming off the rush. The first 2 he missed just wide. You could tell he was trying to go far side. And then the third one, boom, he gets it and fires it and shoots it in kind of the same area. So I'll give the guy Relentless Player for that. He kept with it. He dialed his shot in and scored it when he needed him the most.
Interesting. That's an interesting
how
one.
Happy did
player.
How happy did he look after he scored that goal? And then they showed him on the bench with Leon. I mean, that was a big smile. That was finally.
What do you think Leon said to him? Leon clearly said something smart ass to him. I don't know what it was.
Can you relax now? Like your new stick or whatever he's doing it worked. Just because
I bet it was something smart ass. Like, hey, you keep shooting like that, you're gonna get to 30 this year. Something like, you know what I mean?
Because remember earlier in the game, he had the chance to shoot it. He tries to slide it back to Leon. And I was like, just shoot it, man. Like, you're in a pretty good spot.
I think that one, though, Struds, I think it had to do with Leon having 50, going for 50.
But the game wasn't over then. Wasn't it 1-1 at that point? He's going to get 50.
Superstars don't have to worry about if the game is over, not when they try to force something. I think
I
in
don't
his
know.
mind, he's like, I want to be the one to set up Leon for his 50th goal. I've got him for a 2-on-1. If I get it through here, you know it's going to be in the net.
But but
So
what's the percentage of that pass going through, would you say?
for
Even with
you and
Connor,
I, 0. For
no,
Connor,
not me and
50%.
you. With Connor, like, is it a 50-50 at best? The shot on net, like, I don't know.
Great
Just
players
shoot it,
think
man.
they can do it. Great players
I know
think they
they
can make every
but
play.
I don't just shoot it. I want it. It's not like he's got a bad shot. Shoot that puck.
Oh, he's got a great shot, but he's trying to get Leon his 50th.
I know. I don't know. That's the wrong attitude, especially when he's not. He's in a bit of a slump. Or not slump's made for, but he's stuck. He seems stuck. I thought that was a great chance to shoot, and he slides it back to a guy that there's even back check coming on that. I was like, oh man, shoot that puck.
I'm just hoping that on the way home that the Oilers plane puts our podcast on and Connor watches and says, oh shoot, Strud said I got to shoot there. And then maybe next game he'll shoot it.
If he watched it back, I think he would agree. There was net there. I think we shot it.
All right, time now for our De Boers Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. Snow is melting. Golf season will be soon here. 2025 equipment is fully loaded and ready to rock and roll over at De Boers. They're actually booking fittings 10 days or so in advance. So if you want to get in and get some clubs, give them a shout and get your time slot booked. Get fit to play your best by the team dedicated to helping you play better golf. That is De Boers Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Steve?
Okay, so we are asking fans on the YouTube chat who needed this game the most. Your 4 options are Arvidson, Nuge, Skinner, or the fans. Who needed this game the most?
I kind of like Struddy's McDavid. Maybe we should have called an audible there, Struddy, and gotten McDavid in there. But the fans are feeling the burn too. Yeah. So can you switch it? I don't know. Strud, do you want to put that one in there? You think McDavid has a chance at winning the poll, or you want the fans in there?
Oh, no, I think that's fine. I mean, honestly, I think, I guess the fans, there's some relief, but there's players that need relief more. And, I'd leave the fans in there. I get it, but I mean, if they don't start playing better, the fans will be really suffering. So I think you got to look at the players for this one.
Actually, I would have picked the fans. I'd go with number 4.
Hold on.
I would go with the fans. We have a call-in show that I'm on, and it is the fans that are the scaredest right now. So they have the most fear. The players, New-Hopkins feels it's going to get better. Skinner feels it's going to get better. So does Arvidson. There's a lot of fans that aren't sure about this team right now. I think the fans needed this win more than anyone.
All right. Give us your answer, and we will check in with the YouTube poll a little bit later on in the show. Sometime during Ask Us Anything. Could be any time during Ask Us Anything. Could be at the beginning. Could be in the middle. Could be towards the end. We keep it loose on this show, and we just kind of do stuff whenever we feel like it. Yeah, whenever we feel like it. All right, that was a breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. When we come back, let's talk a little D, shall we, Struds? Still tons of show ahead. Throw us a like. We'll be right back.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolandentistry.com.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com. Rolling right along, time for takeaways brought to you by Martin Motorsports. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, stop by the Edmonton Boat and Sportsman Show at the Edmonton Expo Center to visit with the great folks at Martin Motorsports. On display, the whole lineup of power sports products, Vamoose e-bikes, Supra, Moomba, Crestliner, Harris boats, docks and lifts, plus all the gear and accessories for your summer adventure. That is a room full of fun. Head on down to the show March 20th to the 23rd. Some solid defensive performances tonight, Struds. I think we need to talk about Emberson about Wallman and the blocks. Maybe a bigger picture conversation here about Evan Bouchard and the direction his game has gone in. So I'm going to lay it out there for you, Struds. What did you like? Who did you like? Who deserves to have Jason Strudwick speak about them first among the blue liners on this night?
Well, I think you nailed with Wallman. Like, he just jumped off the page. And you look at how many shots he blocked. He was in the way a lot tonight. A lot. Had a couple decent offensive shots too. But I just liked how he's kind of just finding a way to help out. Right. Some nights he's been physical. Some nights he's really zinging pucks around. And tonight it was more of a defensive posture, he assumed. And I like that, Brown. I think that's kind of what they need. What is he, their 4th, 5th defenseman, somewhere in there, him and Kulak?
For him, it's trying to find a role here. In Detroit, he was an offensive guy where he could play on the power play, as well as in San Jose. Here, he's not getting offensive minutes. He's not playing on the power play. So how can I be effective? Where can I fit in where I could help this team out? What he's so good is he skates so well and moves, and it's almost effortless, and gets the puck and he can get it up very, very quickly. And then where there were mistakes is I don't think his defensive game he's not a Matthias Ekholm. So there are some bobbles, but when there is, he has an urgency to fix it. So if all of a sudden there's a giveaway in his defensive zone, well, he's laying out. He's putting his body in the line. He's getting in the way. So yeah, I think he's made this team a much better hockey club. And what you love about him is he can go left side, he can go right side, he can be in your top pairing, he can be in your third pairing. You can move him around, and he seems to be effective wherever he goes.
Do you have any concern, Brownie? Because Struds has voiced this in recent shows. Like, when Matthias Ekholm is back, are they not just going to play Ekholm and Bouchard together? And then Wallman ends up with Darnell Nurse? Like, why not play those two more together right now? Because that's where it's going to land eventually.
I was really surprised when they went with Wallman and Bouchard together, especially if Wallman's throughout his career has been a left-handed defenseman. He stays on the left side. He doesn't play his offside often. So if you're going to put him the remainder of the season when Ekholm is back on the right side, why not do it now? Maybe move Nurse and Bouchard together and have Kulak play with on the left side with Wallman. So yeah, I was a little surprised that they had him flipping over, but maybe that signals that they're not planning on having him on the right side with Nurse. I don't know. It's weird. But then again, in training camp, we wondered why Skinner, Arvidson, and Leon didn't play together until the very last days. So there's some things that the coaches have done here that we haven't been privy to as to why they're doing it.
We're missing something. There's something we don't see. Right? Because it doesn't make sense to have those two together if you're planning on playing with Nurse. So maybe the obvious thing is they're not, as Brownie just said. Like, it doesn't, something's missing. And I can't see it. I keep putting the combinations together and trying to figure out what is going to happen. I do feel it'll just be 5D. They're playing 5D in the playoffs.
Could it be just as simple, though, Struds? Could it just be as simple as they're just trying to put the best D-core together to win the game tonight and not worried about what the combinations are going to be when the road trip's over? Like, wouldn't that be the answer?
Yeah, it could be. Yep, I think that's a fair thing. But the problem is when you get to the playoffs now, so you have two guys that have played, a lot together. I think I'd want them out there, right? I want those guys playing together. Like you look at Stetcher was only 10 minutes tonight, which is not crazy for a 6th defenseman, and 15 or so for Emberson. I don't know. I just throw Kulak up then with Bouchard and let these two guys get to know each other. Let them have
that's what I thought.
Kulak's game has dipped here. Kulak's been struggling a little bit. Emberson's been struggling a little bit lately too here. So I don't know. I feel like I feel like he's just putting pairings together to try and win this game. Have you noticed that, Struds, on Kulak in particular? He had that amazing game it was a week and a half ago or something, but I feel like with him and Emberson, it's gone the wrong way here.
I would say it's Emberson more so than Kulak. I think that Emberson, maybe it's a little fatigue for the big guy too, right? Emberson, it's quite a bit they're playing here. He's kind of got a pretty important role with this group. Kulak, I have no doubt he's going to be fine. I think Emerson,
Yep.
his minutes might come down a tad when everyone's healthy. And when I say a tad, he might be more in the 12 to 14 range, right? I think is where he'll be. But that's not abnormal. They have 5 guys that are better than them. That's what happens. But Kulak, I have no problem. So I would put Kulak up with Bouchard right now if I felt in game 1 of the playoffs, I have Wallman beside Nurse because they need time together.
I agree. Now, also, could it be Emerson fatigue for the amount of games he played, but also for the amount he's been hit? I mean, that's got to wear him down. Like at one point, it was couple weeks ago where he'd been hit more than anyone else in the National Hockey League.
It's been that way for
and
years.
it's not little bumps. And it's not little bumps. Like he's getting absolutely rocked. So maybe that has played a bit of a role in it.
So when everyone's healthy, Brownie, he could get a break, right?
Yep. I think he will. I think they'll put Klingberg in for some games. Huh?
No, had a break at the Four Nations. I know what you mean, but
I'm not.
The idea that he's tired or beat up or like he just had a break.
But he doesn't look like jumpy. Yeah. And I think someone's got to come out. If they are going to continue to work this Klingberg back into the level he thinks he can be at, someone's got to come out. It's no doubt it's Emerson. He's the one coming out, and then it'll probably be Emerson. And I think Stetcher is. I love his effort. I love the way he grinds, but his size, oh man, defensively it's hard. He's too little, and that's unfair to say, but it's true.
We have talked about the turn in Evan Bouchard's play here in recent podcasts. Struds, you've attributed a lot of it to offensive confidence, but I will say some of his nicer plays tonight were of a defensive nature, breaking up 2-on-1s and such. This is such a good sign that the big mistake is funneling out of his game. He's steadying himself in his own end because you know that the offense is going to be there, Struds. What are you seeing from the blue line to his own crease that you like?
Yeah, so I think, the offense really makes a difference. But when I played, they said, see a play, make a play. They want it off my stick as fast as I could get it off my stick. And with Bouchard, I think that I can say the same thing to him because, guys, he's looking for the incredible play instead of just the play that's there. And now I see he seems more relaxed when he just sees the plays and make the play. Like the play that he can make way more plays than most defensemen on the ice. But instead of looking, oh, that's a good one, I'm looking for the great one. Now he just makes a good play. And for D, that's enough because it just gets the puck up the ice. So I see that, Brownie, from him as simplification, but that doesn't mean unskilled plays. It means just moving it quicker because he's confident in his reads.
Well, aren't we just more or less echoing what we talked about with Darnell Nurse all last year? I mean, Darnell Nurse was trying to live up to a big contract, and he's trying to do more than he should. And they kept saying, simplify, make the easy play, make the simple play, make that 100% of the time. Well, this year, you got the Four Nations Team Canada thing. You've got the big contract, and all of a sudden Evan Bouchard's trying to do more than he should. Where now he's just simplifying. Make the 15-foot pass instead of the 50-foot pass. And when he simplifies, that takes away the big errors because it just takes so many bad things out of the way. So I think he's going through a Darnell Nurse thing where he's trying to do more than he should, and he's put himself into a bigger hole. And then you know what it's like, Struds, when you start to lack confidence, you start doubting yourself, it gets worse and worse. And it seems like everything you try fails. I think that's what Bouchard got to for a while, and he's just slowly coming out of it. But again, and you said it to start with, Schauger, it started with his offense. He scored a few goals, and all of a sudden the chest pops out a little bit. He feels a little bit of swagger coming back, and then that allowed him to just relax and not force plays because all of a sudden, okay, there are the stats. They're here, and they're back again.
Disastrous start to the road trip, but they salvage it here with a couple of wins. It feels like the overall quality in their game is building here, Struds. I don't think it's where they want it to be, but it's definitely building. I'm going to let you listen to the head coach's perception on where they're at right now, Struds, and then give me your thoughts.
We've been building ever since, probably since the Florida game. With that Florida game, I thought it was a good effort. I think it was a good game. We didn't win it, but since then, I think we've been building our game up because I think we were rock bottom those 3 games after the break. But since then, I think we've been getting better. There's still room for improvement. There's things that we can get better at, but it's been a gradual climb, and that's what we want. We just want to get better.
Yeah, they bought him out. I think he nailed it. And you're starting to see some lights come on, right? You just see little things happening here that, are important, and different players kind of finding their jump again. There's still some guys I think that can continue up their game, but that's how it goes. So they've got 15 games to find it, get some healthy players back, get these new players in the lineup. But I'll expand on it more in Struddy's world, but there are things that are positive happening and trending in the right direction, even though it's not a finished product tonight, Brownie.
Well, I think it starts with three things that they didn't have in those first three games: compete, hard work, and battle. And in the Florida game, there was a bunch of mistakes in that game, but they compete in the battle, and just an aggressiveness was part of their game that night. And we've seen it since. There's a desperation in their game tonight. The Wallman block shots. That's desperation. That's willing to lay down to stop a chance against. They didn't have that in those other three games. And I wouldn't say they were soft, but it was three games where they just lacked any emotional connection with the game. And you can't, in the National Hockey League, win hockey games if you're not emotionally connected. So there's things that they still need to clean up, as Struddy said, but the basics are there now. They're competing every night, and that's a huge thing.
So coming back off this road trip, they've got Utah on Tuesday, a team that's scrapping for its life. They got the Winnipeg Jets, who are a juggernaut, great team, real good challenge. Seattle, and then they have a nice little break. They got a few days there where you can't help but think that the McDavids and some of these guys, I'm sure they'll have Ekholm back by then, but I think some guys could use that break. So 3 more games here spread out over this next week, and then the Oilers catch themselves a little bit of a breather. That was Takeaways brought to you by Martin Motorsports. One other event I want to tell you about coming up this weekend. Check out the Alberta Spirits and Cocktail Festival, set to go at the Edmonton Events Center. Yes, a can't-miss event featuring over 40 local and Canadian distillers, flair bartending shows, live music, after party, and much more at this event. You can get your tickets at abspiritsfest.ca. So you can check out the Edmonton Boat and Sportsman Show during the day and then head to the Alberta Spirit and Cocktail Festival in the evening. We got your whole weekend squared away. You're ready to go. We've got lots more ahead, including Brownie Points and Struddy's World. Stay with us here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Join over 250,000 Canadians who have upgraded to Canada's best mattress. Douglas is proudly made in Canada and ships directly to your door for free. Douglas is easy to set up. Enjoy perfectly balanced comfort and an easy-to-clean machine washable cover. Get a free sleep bundle with your Douglas mattress. Try risk-free for 365 nights. Get your Douglas mattress today.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
Yes, it is Struddy's World, and we're all just living in it. His segment brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's leading supplier of vinyl products. They offer premium materials for fences and decks designed to stand the test of time. No rotting, fading, deteriorating. Whether you're looking for a professional contractor or planning to tackle the project yourself, they've got the resources and the expertise to help you out. Canadian owned and operated. I can confirm they are my brothers, Rick and Rob. Locations in Calgary and Edmonton. DLRvinylproducts.ca. Big guy.
Yeah, I think I got the math right here. I went back to the last 7 games, going back to March 1st, and I think I'm doubting myself. But anyways, what I've calculated, these 7 games, they've given up 15 goals in 7 games. So that's just 2.15 goals against per game. The best team in the league is the Winnipeg Jets over the whole year, so that makes a pretty big difference. They're 2.28 per game, and they've pretty widely acknowledged a pretty good defensive team. The Oilers over the course of the season are 2.9, and that puts them around 12th for the year. So talking about what we did a little bit before is about the team is trending in the right direction for goals against. Yeah, they had a couple in there where there's 4 or 3, but they've had some 1s and some 2s. So they're generally getting kind of back to where they want on average. I think the challenge is, scoring enough, getting enough pucks across the line to score. And, because some of those lights are starting to turn on. We see Nuge of 3. Some of these Arvidson starting to get going. I think there's other guys that can still find some back in the net a little more often, but those are 2 trends. I think that one is going in the right direction. I think the goals will start to come, and then this team will be back on top of it and feeling pretty good about where they're at, boys.
Good point, Struds, because you can't control what the other goalie does. You could play a team, you could outshoot them 58-21. You can't control if that guy stands on his head and limits you to 2 goals. But you can certainly play good defensive hockey and limit what the other team gets. And when the Oilers had their 16-game run, their 8-game run, their march to the Stanley Cup Finals, they would win 2-1 games, 3-2 games. Yeah. Because even when the offense, when they were shooting blanks, when things weren't going well, they didn't need to score 5 to win. They didn't need to score 6 to win. And I think right now you're seeing, again, a scrappier team that, all right, everyone's not playing to the best of their offensive abilities, but we have a chance to win because we're only giving up 1 or 2. We're not giving up 4 or 5. So I do, Struds, I agree. I think they are starting to play much better defensively, and it's only going to get better when they get an Ekholm into the lineup, and that'll make a huge difference. So for the Edmonton Oilers, if they want to win this division and get home ice in the first couple of rounds, the trend that they're on right now with good defensive hockey is certainly the way to go.
Do you think, Struds, they're starting to dial in some of those things that Knobloch was super concerned about before, which was their ability to defend off the rush? Like, are they paying more attention to the details that you got to pay attention to?
Yeah, I think so. And so a couple things. So, and again, I might be wrong here. I think I got it the last 6 games as 2-4-3-3-1-1.
Goals against?
Yeah, goals against. So
yeah.
I might be wrong.
So I've got 6-2-4-3-3-1, and then they were 1 tonight.
Yeah.
So if you go 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So is that 14?
Yeah, 14 and 6. Yeah, so roughly we're close. I think we're all agreeing that it's starting to trend in the right direction, right? So a couple things. I think that, I don't know how to phrase this properly. I think that they're starting to realize that they have to be, they have to be detailed in this and bring energy. Like Brownie's point about blocking shots and being competitive. At the end of the game, Darnell Nurse was laying on the ground, blocking shots. That's not easy. That's not fun to do it laying on his side. Or was that last night? Maybe it was last night he did that. But either way, they're being more competitive in their own zone. But I think they're managing the puck. When's the last time I used that puck managing idea where you're putting the puck in the right area and moving it forward? And I know those are maybe just 1-2 breakdowns a game, but they do matter. They do matter. So it's trending in the right direction. It's not just one thing. It's everyone doing the right thing with the puck and managing it properly, then competing in your own zone. So I hope these, and I like to think these next 4 games, maybe we're talking about 10 goals against in the next 4 games, or something like that. That's, what is that, 2.5 goals a game? That's pretty good. You should be able to get 3 across the line.
Sounds like Matthias Ekholm not necessarily going to be available for Tuesday, so maybe for Thursday against the Winnipeg Jets. So we'll wait for a further update on that on Tuesday at morning skate, but could be without Ekholm for 1 more game. So we will wait and see. And Zach Hyman as well, who was on the ice today, game time decision, but ended up not playing. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Okay, roll the happy music. Time for Rob Brown to take the spotlight in Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. It's the ultimate game day snack, and it's Canadian-owned and operated. Open in 1962 right here in Alberta. Support Canadian business and get in on this great deal. 2 pounds of jerky for $70. Get a free bonus quarter-pound mystery flavor pack with free shipping Alberta-wide as well. AlbertaJerky.com is the website. Got your back, as a code gets you an additional 10% off. Brownie, award some of your famous Brownie points, please.
Well, let's start with giving 25 to a good Canadian kid. The world's best D-man, Cale Makar, scored his 25th of the season, had a couple of assists. His game winner was in overtime as the Avs have a big win over Dallas in a battle of Western Conference heavyweights. I watched the end of that game. Oh my goodness, is Cale Makar a good hockey player? The game-winning goal, he just went around 3 players and then throws it backside on Ottinger, made it look so easy. I'm sticking with it. I think the Colorado Avalanche come out of out of their part of the Western Conference. I think whoever wins in the Oilers division will play Colorado in the Final Four. I've got 96 brownie points to the 2 Oiler goalies who outplayed a couple Russian superstars in back-to-back wins, and they came in with a .960 save percentage in those 2 games. Going into both games, there were question marks. Can the Oilers outplay Shesterkin and Sorokin? They did in both games. Both the other goaltenders blink. The 2 Edmonton goalies didn't. 18 brownie points to Leon Draisaitl, who assisted on Corey Perry's power play goal to increase his point streak to 18, which is the longest in the National Hockey League. Simple play. He read the play. All right, I'm coming to the middle. Perry's got position in front of the net. I'm just going to put it right where Perry's stick is. And he didn't, and he turned into a battle in front with Corey Perry won. So Leon Draisaitl, his MVP season continues. I've got 10 brownie points to Jason Strudwick, nemesis, King Henrik, who they showed at Madison Square Gardens in the stands a couple times tonight. And he did look like a perfect 10 there. No man looked better on TV than King Henrik Lundqvist. As the kids say, he was on point. Never so much have I noticed a difference between he on TV today and Jason Strudwick in his hoodie on TV tonight. So yes, Strud's not on point. King Henry, yes, he was. And finally, my piggy bank is empty. So I'm taking back 1 million brownie points from the NHL and their silly blackout broadcast games. There's 2 great games going on tonight. They got the Jets game that's going on right now. It's 2-2 late in the game. The Canucks had a big game against Utah. Nope, can't get either of them in my house right now. Both blacked out. I'm like, seriously,
Brownie,
I'm not going to those games.
You know the way this works.
No, I want to watch the game.
You know the way this works. These are regional rights versus national rights. Get off your wallet. Get off your wallet and buy the package.
I'm not buying the package because I've bought 2 different sports programs. I want one of them. Both of them got like 5 channels. You guys, your TV station, TSN's got like 5 channels. Okay. Give me a game. Give me one. Throw me a bone.
Right. I'll tell you what. Okay, Brownie, I'll tell you what. One of these nights, you fill in for me for the back half of the show or something, and then the pod will buy you the package for the rest of this year, and we'll buy you the package for next year. You have to have the NHL package. Struds, you have it, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you got it, right? Brownie, you need to get off your... You got to have it.
I don't have it. I wanted to watch a game tonight. It was a close game.
You don't get your million brownie points back. You don't get them back.
I do get it.
I deserve them for the NHL. That one.
I do too. I think everyone agrees with me that we shouldn't have to pay extra money to watch NHL hockey in our country. I think everyone on the podcast agrees. It should be free with what we pay for cable as it is. That's my poll for next week.
I don't think that's as somebody who works for a regional rights holding network that makes lots of money off of that, I'm going to go ahead and say no go. Well, I do. I mean, TSN we got regional rights packages in Ottawa,
with TSN?
Montreal, Winnipeg. Yeah, I'm with TSN. What I will give you a million brownie points for, though, was bringing up Henrik Lundqvist and how sharp he looked. And, if Henrik Lundqvist could see Struds tonight, I wonder what he would have to say.
You are an absolute horrendous dresser. Is this guy blind? I hope you have a great day.
Sad.
I feel like it was something like that. Struds.
It's sad that he said that. He'd probably like to see that back when I slip into something sexy. He always, think about it. He has to dress perfect to look good. I just dress average and I still look good. When I put on something really good, I'm looking money. That's just the way it is. I wear a suit all the time too. You think I'm James Bond as well.
Brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky.
Yeah, get no respect.
All right, Brownie, we'll let you go for the night, buddy. We'll chat with you after the next game. Great job, and we'll see you soon, pal.
All right. See you guys. Night.
See you, buddy.
All right. And that is a great Robbie Brown. I'm so glad I have that clip of Henrik. We got to run that clothing piece back again, Struds. One of these nights on the show, we got to re-show some of these old promos that we did back in like year 1 and year 2, back in the original years. I was actually looking back at one of our shows in season 1. I mean, I know we felt like we were doing a good job, but man, have we come a long way, buddy. We've come a long way.
Yeah, no, it's, well, like everything evolves, right? You understand where you're at, take away the rough edges. Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, Steve, you've been watching all along, buddy. Like just the look of this thing alone, you know, I listened to it. I went on the first one and I was like, hey, welcome to, my energy was like not there. We were everything was all mucked up and all over the place. So.
You'd lift up your standing desk and we'd lose the entire broadcast.
Remember that? Oh yeah. Yeah, I tried to lift my standing desk and just crash the entire show.
Tossing your desk around.
But there have been some good promos along the way. So maybe one of these days we'll have to roll some of those on the show. All right, let's move on to our HSE Core Blue Liners segment, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized business, they have your back when it comes to health and safety compliance, creating and managing tailored health and safety programs that meet all legislation and core requirements. They support their clients' operations every step of the way. Visit www.hsecor.com. Keandre Miller of the New York Rangers. Struds?
This is a player I've followed since his draft. I really like the idea of him. Big guy, long, rangy, pretty good skater. You know, and I've watched him quite a bit, so I know him pretty well. When I think of Keandre Miller, I think of a guy with a stick in the right spot, you know, quite often. The second piece is he's heavy on sticks. Like when he has a puck around him, he's fighting with someone else, generally speaking, he's going to get it. There's a lot of I see that people, you know, just like every player in the NHL, get some criticism for his play. And I saw a little bit of it tonight, some giveaways. I think that Keandre would benefit from moving the puck quicker. Now, that's something I've said about Bouchard. I've said it about a lot of D-men. And we are guilty as a group when we hang on to it too long and we miss a play. And I saw that from Keandre tonight. But heavy stick, defender, doesn't really play power play, kills a ton of penalties. That's kind of his big thing in defense. So I think still kind of working on his game. But he's big and he takes up space, and I'm guessing hoping he'd be in one of the top 4 for a number of years moving forward here in New York.
Yeah, his name popped up here and there. I mean, it felt like there was a certain point, Struddy, where the Rangers were basically willing to move on from anything and everything, and every single name seemed to be out there a little bit. When I heard his name coming up, I was thinking, I don't know that you trade a 6-foot, 4 or 5 defenseman who's got, you know, 40-plus point potential. He does have a 43-point season under his belt. I never thought that made a lot of sense. I feel like this is a guy, when you get to playoff time, you know you can count on him. He takes up space. Like, he does a lot of really good things. So I never really believed that they considered or would have been serious about moving this player.
Well, he's an RFA after this year, and where his contract goes, I'll be honest, I haven't really looked into it or studied. He's almost at $4 million. So I'm guessing there'll be a raise, and you know, I'm guessing there's a long-term deal there. If they didn't move him, you know, that's probably what's going to happen. But again, I'm not dialed into what the Rangers are doing specifically with this player. But I think there's definitely a player that you want to have on your team there. Again, moving the puck quicker. But you could say that about many of the D-men in the NHL. Yeah. That's when we usually get in trouble. So,
many.
But it was noticeable tonight. I think specific to tonight, it was noticeable to me on him.
Yeah. All right. Before we get to break, let's get to our scoreboard on the night. There were some games of consequence. Brownie mentioned a couple of them, but let's run through everything that went on tonight. Struds, brought to you by Canadian Club. The all-new CC Classic 18-year-old high proof comes at 58%, their highest proof Canadian Club to date. Full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, rich oak with a butterscotch finish.
Really important for them to know Oilers. The Red Wings do them a favor and beat the Golden Knights 3-0.
Yes.
So with that, the Oilers get 2 points closer. That was a huge favor. by the Red Wings. And the Red Wings are fine for a playoff spot, so it's not like they did it for free. The Canucks lose 3-1 to Utah. Canucks had the 1-0 lead at home, and they lose 3-1. That one is a tough one for them. And then the Toronto Maple Leafs get a massive kick in the junks from the Islanders. Panthers are up 2-0. They get the Panthers get a kick in the junk. The Islanders are thankful, or the Leafs are thankful. Islanders get 4-2 win over the Panthers. I'm saying that because the Leafs have lost 5 of 7, and the one game they won, I believe, was either in a shootout or an overtime. And then the Jets beat the Kraken. But the Leafs got a huge favor because they're right now in third spot in that in their Atlantic Division, chasing what they thought was first place, and they've slipped, not unlike the Oilers.
Yeah, for sure. Can we talk about how many Canadian teams are going to be in the playoffs here? Like, it would really be something here. The Ottawa Senators have just, good on them. I can't wait to see Brady Tkachuk play playoff hockey, buddy. I can't wait for that.
Well, give Steve Sales credit. Dylan Cousins looks like it's been a good fit. Early returns are pretty strong. And it's another big body that can move people around and drive the net.
That was a gutsy move.
What very gutsy, very gutsy. But yeah, Ottawa, is in pretty good shape there. Got a little bit of a gap now. Winning 6 in a row makes a difference. Montreal's right on the cusp, but a couple of games at hand. And then what Winnipeg and Oilers are up to. And then Vancouver and Calgary, they're fighting for it. Calgary has quite a few games at hand, which could make a difference down the stretch.
Yeah. Well, one of Vancouver or Calgary, potentially. Then you got Montreal floating around it. Yeah. Ottawa, Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton. There's going to be tons of Canadian content in this year's playoffs, and I am here for it. Loving it. All right, when we come back, we'll take a lap around the league and our Ask Us Anything segment as well. Anything you want to ask Struds, fire it into our chat. Steve will grab hold, and we'll go through some of the best of it. Our play of the day also coming up. Still lots ahead here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
Did we lose Shogger? Struddy, it might just be
It's
us
me.
here.
Yes.
Finally
made it.
I'll give you this.
Finally
I'll give you this one again.
Made it to the top of the heap. Well, let's keep this party going then, everybody. It's great. I finally got Shogger bailed out. You know what? He couldn't take it. He worked out yesterday, and he is bagged. He is absolutely bagged. So we're going to take a trip. And it looks like it's just myself, taking a lap, I should say.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Aecon. If you're a skilled tradesperson or construction professional looking for work in Western Canada, Aecon wants to hear from you. One of Canada's original industrial contractors, they are building some of the largest multi-year industrial projects in Western Canada, and you can be a part of it. They're looking for skilled tradespeople and construction professionals to join the Aecon team and start building what matters today. Join Aecon now by sending your resume to trades@aecon.com. And it is.
Just an empty seat.
Just me. You know what? Okay, let's do this. I got this under control. Okay, 2 things we're going to talk about. First off, Gavin McKenna, the projected first overall pick in the 2026 NHL draft, is on fire. If you don't know, he plays for the Medicine Hat Tigers. He was here recently. I went down and saw him play. I think I've seen him twice now. Last night he played, he had points now in 38 straight games. 38 straight games this guy is doing. That's the longest streak in 25 years. And with his 38th game he passed another pretty good guy who had, I think, 37, Sidney Crosby. So in the last 25 years, that is, I believe, the second longest streak in that time, which is incredible. And I think he had 7 points last night against the Red Deer Rebels. This guy is worth the price of admission to go and see him. I saw him play live. Funny story, I was sitting on the bench with my son's hockey team watching him take warm-up, and my hand was on the dasher or on the boards, and he shot a puck. I swear it was an inch under my finger. He would have blown my finger right up. He kind of looked at me, and I looked at him. I was like, it's okay, big guy. We're both alive. Oh, there he is. There's the big guy. Shoggy's back. The old Shog doggy's back. Just talking about Gavin McKenna, Shogger, 2026 projected first overall pick. He is a talented player, really, really talented player, what he's putting up, and fun to watch. Fun to watch. Okay, I'll dip into the next one. The PWHL held another one of their hockey breakout games, like we saw here in Edmonton. That was really well attended. Well, this was the first one they had in the States to set an attendance record. In the USA, the attendance record, it was 14,000 people during the takeover tour in Detroit. It featured Minnesota Frost and the New York Sirens at Little Caesars Arena today. So there's keeps to be an appetite for more and more women's hockey, which is fantastic. And 14,000 for a professional women's hockey game is very, very cool. Okay, Shogger, we got you there, you old dog.
I think so, yeah. Wasn't sure exactly what was going on there. Had some technical difficulties, but always good. You can just hop in on the old iPhone as a backup. So, yeah, I got you.
Nice. Okay, I love it. Well, we just got through taking a lap. We talked about Gavin McKenna. We talked about the incredible turnout for the takeover tour in Detroit with the ladies. So really good, really healthy. The sport's growing. And Gavin McKenna, if you haven't had a chance to see him, everybody, go down and check him out. He is a talented, talented young man. I'm sure it'll be a feature for the World Junior next year and get maybe a little bit more ice time as they look ahead. Okay, Shogger, let's get into Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies, an Edmonton-based independent electric wholesaler offering a wide range of products from lighting and lighting controls, wiring accessories, control, and hazardous products. You name it, they probably have it. Serving electrical contractors working in Alberta's oil and gas, commercial, residential, and OEM sectors. Check them out at bjelectric.ca. Bring him in. There he is. There's the big guy. Steve, let's hear it, buddy. Where are you going to take us today?
You know what? The first place I'm going to take you is closing the poll, because otherwise we'll probably forget.
Right. That's when we do it, right? Before we have Ask Anything. Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah. Depends who's in charge.
Yeah. Okay. So the question was for the DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center poll, the question was, who needed this game the most? Coming in on top, maybe not surprisingly, was Stu Skinner with 34%. And Nuge just under him with 33%. So obviously fans thinking that both Skinner and Nuge needed this game badly. The fans came in third place at 22%, probably not wrong. And Arvidson, last place, 11%.
Okay. I could see that. Yeah. That makes sense. I get it. And I you know what? I think the fans understand. Like they want to get their players really doing. They're the ones that really got to be buzzing, right? The fans, we support and cheer them, but these guys got to be buzzing through this whole thing.
You betcha. JL coming in.
Decided to come into the golf simulator for this. Just to give you guys a little tour during our
Here we go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the fans wanted. Thank you, Shogger.
Right here. Exactly. Haven't shown you guys before, so there you go.
Geez. You've been waiting.
How about her?
You've been waiting. Right. You're just trying to get closer to your end post game golf simulator round. All right. JL coming in throwback to last episode saying Arvidson finally got his beak wet. There you go, Struds.
There it is.
Yeah, I appreciated that from JL. Nice little callback there from yesterday.
The quizmaster actually asked me, Struds. Steve Dryden actually asked me because I sent him the promo, and he was like, "Beak wet? Like, where does that come from? What is the analogy there? What is the?" He didn't know. He was asking me.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
do we know?
I think it's implied. It's implied in it. It's just like, I guess the analogy would be, I don't know, if you're sitting around and you just kind of want to get piece of the action, in on it. I want to be in on it. So that's what's another way of saying that, rather than saying he's in on it. You say he's getting his beak wet. So I don't know if there's a direct analogy, like an animal or something.
Yeah, like an animal or something. Okay, just trying to resize this one. So Brent D comes in and says, I would say one thing. The team follows McDavid, and he's currently average in all parts of the game. He isn't back-checking or defending to his standards, in his opinion. And he's saying the team follows McDavid. So what do you think about that, Struds? Like, if McDavid is only playing average by McDavid standards, does that make the rest of the team, play average by their standards?
Guys, I do feel that McDavid has been distracted by his lack of offense. And I know by anyone else's standard, he's elite, but by his own standard, I don't think he's there. That's why I felt that tonight it was so important for him to score on that shot in that moment when the team needed him the most. And so, just like I talked about Bouchard, his game is it kind of comes off his offense. So I think that's an important goal for him, and we might see him now exhale and just go. Because he sees Leon doing it. Not that I think he's jealous of Leon, but he wants to help. He wants to be a part of the solution. And he hasn't been able to do that kind of scoring-wise, Shoggy, the way that I think he wants to or has been in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this team has really high hopes coming off of last year. I think they know how hard it is to get back to where they were. And I also think, like, it's pretty obvious that this team isn't where last year's team was. And I think maybe at times that has to be a little bit disheartening for the guys who saw how hard it was with the team they had last year. And then they measure themselves against last year's team, and they're probably thinking, like, man, are we going to have it tonight? I mean, they're human beings. And so you probably end up trying to do too much naturally. You probably feel a little disheartened by results this late in the season that they're getting. They're human beings. There's got to be a certain amount of being a little disheartened and stressed out and feeling like, are we good enough? And McDavid's the type that would just try and fix it all himself.
Neil Garrity bringing up Cece. He said Cece's been pretty good in Dallas. I'm happy for him. Have you guys been keeping an eye on Cece at all?
Not a ton just yet. I mean, we saw him the other day. Listen, he was a very polarizing player for this team, for the fans and analytics community alike. And there's another team poised to win a Stanley Cup or looking to win a Stanley Cup that brought him into their group. What more do you have to say? I mean, what do you want me to say? That's two teams that think they can have Stanley Cup and they bring him in. So the hockey community values his contributions.
Oh, and by the way, the team that brought him in is, one of the teams that he helped beat last year. So there you go.
Good point. I like it.
Pod Golzen, when we were talking about Arvidson, said, I've had the suspicion all year that playoff Arvidson is going to make this fan base forget about his lackluster year. Do you guys have any expectations of what we'll see from Arvidson in the playoffs?
He's going to have to be pretty good in the playoffs, Struddy. He's going to have to really dig in, hey?
Yeah, I mean, he is a play. I believe he's a playoff player. Like, I like the way he plays, his tenacity, and Brownie described him well earlier in the pod. But they need him to score, right? They need him to get some points. So 2 goals in 5 games. I hope he scores on this homestand. Like even 1 goal, 2 would be amazing, right? That might be a reason for a cheer. So again, another guy, hopefully.
What's that? 2 claps and a hip for him?
Oh God, 2 claps and a woo. If he scores 2 goals I'll give him 2 claps on the roof. And I'm a supporter of this player. Like, I like the signing. It hasn't quite evolved offensively the way they need him to. But man, they need him. But then he's another guy that, listen, they're not out of the woods. I don't want to paint the picture that way, but there are trends or signs that they're trending in the right direction.
Speaking of which, Machine Gun Rollison says Nuge, Podkolzin, Arvidson are a legit line. They've played well multiple games. What do you guys think about the 3 of them? Struds?
Yeah, so Brownie's really painted this well. Is it about getting Nuge right, or skating and moving, or is it about just looking to make the team look a little different? I don't like Kapanen beside Connor, and that's, like, I'll just be clear. I don't think he has the hands to, like, he had 2 chances today, one off of Connor's stick, one off of his, that he was unable to handle or manage into. You got to turn those into scoring chances, because in a playoff game you might get one, and if you don't get it off in time, that's trouble, right? So if Hyman's healthy, I'd leave Henrik up there. Henrik's a really smart player. I think he understands how to function beside a player like that. So then that means Nuge is 3rd line center. He's not taking Draisaitl's spot, and maybe that's a lineup spot that gets him skating and moving and getting more to the middle of the ice. I want to see him drive that middle of the ice.
Struds, do you think that playing New-Hopkins at center for a stretch might be like an injection back into his game of what was missing on the wing, so you can then place him back on the wing with that in his brain? Keep your feet moving, get going. There's a pace he has to play at as a center that maybe he can take back to McDavid's line.
Yeah, I think that's a real good possibility. Or you might like him there, right? Or Henrik might work out on that line.
Produce there, right? Like, you got to get something from Henrik in that position.
Yeah, but it's not like the other player was killing it, right? So I mean, I think anything's a possibility. I think anything, and I think based on the series, we've seen Knoblauch change over the course of a series. Usually it takes them kind of 2 games to figure out what that correct setup is in any given series.
I think Nugent-Hopkins has more potential to produce with McDavid than Henrique. So I could see this being Knoblauch letting Nuge find his game in the middle and then giving him back to Connor once his game is rehabilitated a little bit. Or maybe I'm wrong. Sure. Maybe they'll keep him at center.
Sure. Ultimately, they probably go put it back together. But if Arvidson starts clicking and Nuge is feeling it, do you want us to pull that rug out from underneath Arvidson?
It all depends on what's happening on McDavid's wing. Nothing in the bottom 6 matters.
I challenge you there.
When you compare that to what's going on Connor McDavid's wing.
I would challenge that a bit, because if Hyman's going and Connor's going, that's probably enough for that line. But now you have 3 lines going deep, right? So I think, again, I can't. You have to show me the series. Let's take a look at who we're playing, and then we can figure out where we're at. Yeah. But you're not wrong.
Okay, well, Mountain Man says he thinks the coaches actually deserve credit for scratching Jeff Skinner so much. He says it looks like it paid off. He's played great tonight, both ends of the ice, completely different player from the last couple of weeks compared to the early season. Do you think all the scratches?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's one way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I might suggest to you that he was playing pretty well before and kept getting scratched. I recall a night he was one of their better forwards and scored a goal and ended up scratched the next night. So I think Chris Knoblauch has a great touch in a lot of ways with this team. This Jeff Skinner thing has been head-scratching all year. Well, most of the year for me.
Mountain Man might actually be Knoblauch's handle. I don't know. That could
be. Yeah. On the plane right now. Yeah, listening in.
Neil Garrity just making me laugh with this one at one point in the chat. Just said, "Fire Knoblauch, got your back chat for the coach."
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever seen a YouTube chat as an NHL head coach. Then he followed it up with, "Ask us anything. Would you rather have 100 assists and 0 goals, or 50 goals and 0 assists?" A tough question for the 2 of you, but
50 goals.
Yeah, 50, not even a question, man. 50 goals. Yeah. Wouldn't even hesitate. I don't care if my teammates hate me. I'm a 50-goal scorer. I'd be on my every. I don't have a business card. I'd buy business cards and put that on my business card. Like, I'm telling you, man, that's the money maker.
100%. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. Struddy, you got the ad read here. Let's get to our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental.
Offering a full range of services designed to keep your smiles healthy, their experienced team provides personalized care with the latest technology to ensure you get the best treatment possible. Contact gallerydentalYEG.com. I'll bring this one in. I can tell you're itching to get on the old golf simulator and hit some shanks. Makar's overtime winner tonight was a thing of beauty. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Picks up the puck just outside the blue line, drives down, and cuts across in front and shoots it back on the netminder. Thing of beauty. He is unbelievable. Big win for the Avs.
Super high skill play, back against the grain. The guy is, he's really something, Struds. And watching him play at the Four Nations with other amazing players like that, that was a real treat. I mean, he plays with Nathan McKinnon and played with Rantanen before, so it's not like we don't ever get to see him like that. Yeah. But I always think it's interesting when you see a guy who everybody considers to be a great player, kind of for the first time really get among his peers in that way. And I mean, there is no question who the best defenseman in the league is for me. Like, there's lots of love for Quinn Hughes out west. Matt Blom, I'm sure will say that. But Cale Makar, Four Nations, plays like tonight. He's as good as it gets in this league.
100%. He's so good. Elite player, and doing that at 3-on-3. And it's going to be tough. You know, Brownie's really liking the Avs in that division.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I don't mind Dallas. Winnipeg's pretty good too. Like, who's got the best goalie? Who's got the best goalie? That's going to be a tough division. Yeah. That'll be a murderer again out of there.
No kidding, it will. All right, buddy. I guess that'll wrap it up. I'm going to go play a quick 9 before I hit the hot tub and then head to bed.
Love it.
So nice job tonight, buddy. We'll chat in a couple of days.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully the Oilers are trending the right direction for this homestand.
Yeah. Sounds good. Great job tonight, Steve. And thank you, all of you, for joining us on the live stream tonight. And if you're downloading us in podcast form, we really appreciate you and are having lots of fun. The playoffs are coming. Can you feel it? We're kind of through the dog days, and now we're into those playoff spots getting settled out, teams rounding their game into form. Things are starting to matter in a big way. So we're going to keep the content coming. And look forward to chatting with you after the game on Tuesday night. Have a great night. Thanks to all of our sponsors. See ya.